Hello, everybody. It's Stacie from the Key to Soul Awakening. I am sorry I'm a little late. I had a class this morning with Arthur Finley over in the UK. And when I mean this morning, I mean I've been getting up at 4:30 in the morning for 2 days now to take long courses. But I didn't want to miss you on Sunday, so we're just a little late now. But thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate everybody for coming. It's going to be a really nice, I have some great topics to talk about today. With that said, though, it's going to be a bit shorter than usually, only because I have clients starting at 12. So we're going to end between 11:45 and 12 o'clock. Today is February 7th of 2021, right smack in the middle of the heaviest Mercury retrograde in my memory. If you are not camped out on the sofa with a pint of ice cream, you should be for the next few weeks, because this is not fun. Does anybody else feel this Mercury retrograde? I'll get to that later. If anybody knows the song by Surrender by the Hillsong Worship, I listen to that daily just to keep my head up right now, because Mercury retrograde just has me like going. I'm going to put the link into it because it is such a beautiful song and I need to share it with everybody. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you hit like to this live stream and you subscribe to my channel. What I do here is I take questions. You put your questions in the chat box, and then you also give me your date of birth, because I do use life path numbers. We're going to be talking about a lot of life paths today. The Kardashians, I went down and just did all of their life paths to see where they're working together and where the problems are. And I think it's rather interesting. So when we get to that, let me know about your questions about any of them, because I have all their digits, all the numerology stuff going on. We're going to keep this energy from being heavy. We're going to keep it light and positive. Welcome to the Key of Soul Awakening. Our community here joins together to help each other understand our path in life, in spirituality, no matter where we are. We're here to raise our vibration together and live our highest and best lives. I named it the Key because CAY means a small island in the Caribbean, and my spiritual awakening has brought me here to a small island in the Caribbean, so I named it the Key to Soul Awakening. It's pronounced Key. All right, topics today, we're going to talk about life paths. I'm going to talk about the Kardashian West family. I did talk about them a little bit earlier this week, but my guides are saying to me that I need to talk about this whole Kim Kanye thing again, in addition to their life paths. Again, if you have any questions you want me to answer, please just put it in the chat box and I will get to your question as I'm talking about different things. I'm also going to tell you about my group sessions that are starting, which are going to be helping you learn how to look at your, figure out where your life path is and how you got off of it, and help you clear blockages and understand the law of attraction, understand the universal laws, to keep you balanced and get right back on a really great timeline. I also wanted to talk to you about a subject that maybe some people don't want to hear, but I'm going to talk about it. Suicide. We need to talk about what that means in the spiritual sense. I have so many clients come to me who are really just hanging on. And I'm sure everybody out there has been at a point where they're just really hanging on. My husband and I had a close family member who did commit suicide. And, yesterday came through in one of my sessions. He came through 3 times in the same session. And by the 3rd time, I realized what he wanted me to do. He wants me to teach about what suicide actually does on the spiritual level, in addition to those who left behind. So stick around for that. I think what you will learn there is remarkable. Just so stick around for that, okay? I'm also going to talk about psychic self-defense again, just because this retrograde just has everybody rolling. So let's open with a prayer. If everybody just close their eyes and clear their minds. I'm going to close my mind as well. Here we are. In trust, we are here, divine source, in all that is truth, light, love, compassion, and understanding. We ask for the wholeness of myself, my husband, my family, and all of those listening, the guides, master teachers, and loved ones in spirit, be present as we gather together to raise our vibrations and join together in love and guidance. With deepest gratitude, we thank you for this now that we are experiencing together to make it the highest and best time possible. Amen. I want you take a moment, everybody, and just close your eyes. This is a little thing I do when I feel heavy and the negativity is draining on me, and I feel it draining on you. What I'd like you to do is close your eyes and just take in a deep breath. And feel your vibration pulsing through your body, through your ethereal body. If you look down, you'll see your vibration brightly coming out of your body. Usually this vibration is a little dim unless we tune it up, and that's what we're going to do. Every time you breathe in, I want you to breathe in and see your vibration expand out of your body, reaching out of whatever room you're in. So you breathe in and your light expands, and you breathe out and it stays that way. Now, I want you to look down and see a dial that is going to be sitting right in your chest, and turn that dial from 0 where it is all the way up to 5, and watch your vibration stretch out across the room. And you're going to pump love into the universe for those who need to heal. Pump love into the universe for you that needs to heal. Pump love into the universe for each other who is watching this, as we all need to heal. And when you're ready to come back, just take a deep breath in, thank the universe, and come back into the live. For those of you who are new, I'm Stacie from the Key to the Soul Awakening. I'm the best psychic medium here on YouTube, and I'm so happy you came. I want you to ask me all your questions. You put those in the chat box with your date of birth, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel. We are well over 1,000 subscribers now, and I just want to thank everybody who has subscribed so far. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you tuning in and asking me questions and asking me questions to make videos about, and everything. This wouldn't be possible without you subscribers, so thank you. I also want to thank my Patreon members. The Manifest and Empower members: Gail, Tina, Anastasia, Lisa, Melinda, Kirthi, Gargi, Holly, and Lisa B. And the rest of the Key supporter members: Julie, John, Rafi, Soups on Me, Kelly, Sunil, GMAC, Big Feet 30, Caitlin, Stu 18, and Cindy. I'm adding a new level to Patreon, okay? Because I've had so many people ask me about this. So I've added a new level to Patreon for mediumship training. So if you are looking for somebody to help you with your mediumship skills, I do that. I'm put it on Patreon as a level. So you go over to patreon.com. I put the link on the top of your chat, the chat pinned at the top, and you'll see the level. And if you have questions about it, just let me know. But it's a really great program. So I have interaction with you every day, and we'll meet twice a month where I'll have you practice hands-on. But I'll also help you with blockages and see what's blocking your powers, because usually that's what's going on. Okay. Who's here today? Cheese Pie. Hello. I wanted to ask you, Cheese Pie, are you a pizza pie or like a cheese? Because I could go either way. Cheese pie, like dessert, or like pizza. Hey, AK. Hey, how are you doing, AK? I will get to your question in 1 second. AK, the new year, it's been busy, but I really think everything's been going really well. Like everything I have planned out has been, you can't plan things, right? So I just kind of make little goals, and then I send it to the universe, and the universe is bringing it back to me in spades. So thank you for the question. And I will have your tarot reading out to you by Tuesday. I'm finally caught up, AK, and I'm all yours now. Okay. A cheese pie in a pie that's completely made of cheese. I'm in. I could live on cheese. I think there's cheese in my blood. I love cheese. I like the cheese with like the blueberries in it, that they make in England, and I can't find it usually a lot ever. And if I find it, I'm like, oh, we got to get this. Okay. So let's get to, right. And I also want to tell you, I cannot take any questions for anybody from under 18, just because it goes against my ethical boundaries. If you have technical questions, such as why your question's not showing up, or if I'm freezing or you're freezing on screen, you want to ask my husband, Bob Johnson. He's the moderator. This week, I published the new life path video. So it's going to be one video per life path. So it's 1 through 9. And then I'm going to be doing 11, 22, 33, and 44, which is super rare, 44, to have a life path number for 44. But I figured let's throw it in there anyway. So the life path series, I have 1, 2, and 3 already published. Note to self that my computer is holding on, so some of the audio is a little off, and I'm really sorry, but all the information in it is valid and very good. And if you have questions, make sure you comment on those videos. Let's get to a question. Let's see. Does TW have a crush on me? Let me get your birth date. Okay. I got to move you guys over here so I can actually look at the camera. Here we go. Over. You're moving. Here you go. Oh, you're there. You go. Hi. Okay, I can look at you guys now. Okay. Your birth date is November 18th, 2000. Probably could remember where I was on November 18th, 2000. Scary, scary time. Okay, so you are master number 11 attitude, 2 attitude, and then a 4 as a life path. And your question is, let's have a question. I think there's some admiration. I see gold sparkles going between the two of you. So yeah, I think there's some interest in there, Cheese Pie. I don't think it's gone anywhere, but there is interest. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe to my channel so you are alerted every time I go live. And you can ask me questions for free because I'm here every Sunday, usually at 10 a.m. until people go by. Oh, no problem, Cheese Pie. Okay, put your question in. If you have a question, you put it in the chat box, and then I will get to that as I'm bouncing around back and forth from topics. Let's talk about the Kardashian West family first. Before I get into all of their lifelines, which is fascinating. Yes, I took notes. I have a notebook full of Kardashian notes. Don't judge me. I like them. Okay. I think they're great people at heart, and I can feel people's souls. So I know they're good people. Okay. So what I want to talk about is Kim and Kanye, because I am concerned both sides of this. And I talked about this earlier this week. And this does go into our whole talk about suicide, which I want to talk about in a little bit. So I don't know if Kanye is actually diagnosed with bipolar. People who are not medically trained could make that assertion, but like, I don't know. I do feel like he is a little imbalanced that way. I'm only going to say this though. The man's a genius. The man is a genius, like on the level of like Da Vinci. It's not just music, like his mind goes. And when somebody like that is treated for something like bipolar, and again, I'm not saying it's bipolar, if he's in treatment for anything, medication given to them, a lot of people say it dulls them. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Sai. It says it dulls them, and he doesn't like that. So they're in this kind of dance right now of he wants to be who he is because that's who he is. He's a genius, artistic. He's an intellectual, artistic genius. And he also his suffering some of mental issues. Kim, on the other hand, her life path shows that she just loves freedom. She loves freedom. She loves happiness. She loves luxury. So if you look at every marriage she's had, she's felt very trapped because of the lessons that she was supposed to be learning in those, and if you notice, even in our own lives, things repeat themselves if we don't face them. And here's what I want to say about the Kim and Kanye is, I don't see them like wanting to get divorced. I don't think Kim wants to divorce Kanye. I really don't. I think it's been really, really hard on her because as I know right now, there's been nothing filed. Correct me if I'm wrong. If she really wanted to divorce him, it would have been done in 72 days, right? I don't think she wants to divorce him, and I think this relationship's just really, really hard on her. And I send her all my love and all my healing powers to that family. And if Kim ends up watching this, what she needs to know is she needs to face this with whatever's happening with Kanye. Because if she doesn't face it now, it's going to come up into her children. Because when you run away from an issue, it replicates itself somewhere else and you have to face it. Okay. She's strong. She's smart. She's just frustrated at this point. And he, same thing, strong, smart. He's genius. I mean, like when I tell you level of genius Kanye is, like, there's nobody else on the planet like him right now. Whether right or wrong, I mean, he's just got all this going on. So I really hope that they find a way to work this out because I do feel there's a love between them and they're meant to be together. When I look at their life paths, they understand each other really well because they both have this travel freedom thing going on. But the conflict here is that Kanye is also a master number 11 and a 2 when he goes to life, which means he just loves life. He wants to experience life. He wants to experience it all. Hey, Lisa. And then Kim's a 4 attitude, which means she needs it very straight and narrow. This is how I'm doing things. This is how so there's a bit of a conflict there. So again, I really hope that they can work it out because I don't feel that this is like a love break. I think this is just a situational issue that they can work themselves through. All right. If you're new, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I go live a couple times a week, depending on when I have breaks in my schedule. Today, we're talking about everything twin flames, life paths, Kardashians, questions that are coming up. Do we have any new questions? Let's see. Okay, life paths. How long does it take to find a new relationship? Well, I mean, the question, I always love the questions like these because, you can find a relationship if you turn around and pick somebody out, but would it be the right relationship? And I think everybody's just so desperate to be with somebody because they're looking to validate themselves. And the most of the planet has learned not how to love themselves. Most of the planet does not understand to love themselves first, and then they will find somebody who loves them. Most of the planet is really looking for somebody else to do it for them. Like those Disney movies where it's like, oh, my prince will come. No, you need to, you need to be your own prince. Like, what's that meme that's like Cinderella never asked for a prince, she asked for a day off and a nice dress? That's exactly what we need to be talking about. Okay. So your question about how long does it take to find a new relationship? Are you asking for you, Sai, or is this just in general? While I do your life path number. Okay. All right. So you are a 9 life path. So you have leadership abilities. You learn lessons through the endings, which tells me, Sai, that you've had some endings in relationships. Okay. Hold it. Okay. Thank you for typing that. I love it. Okay. So let's look at what Sai typed. Okay. I'm lacking everything in my karmic relationship. Who knows what I'm going to say? Anybody? Using the law of attraction, when we say to the law of attraction, I'm lacking, okay, the law of attraction will not fix it. The law of attraction goes, they're lacking something. I'm not going to give it to them because they're putting this vibration out of lack. Okay. When you say you're lacking or you want, the law of attraction sees that as you not having it, and the law of attraction will not give it to you because your vibration is of not having it. So the law of attraction matches that not having it. Okay, so let's change your words around. When you say I'm asking for myself, I'm looking forward to having a wonderful romantic relationship. That's how you say that. So it doesn't sound like you're lacking anything. Your life path is, I'm getting a 9. Hold on. Which is still leadership, by the way, but. I was off by 1 number. Sorry. Yep, you are 1. So you still have the leadership and you have 1 attitude. Okay. So when you're looking for a new relationship, let me tap into your. Your relationship's literally right around the corner. You are not seeing that, though, because you're so focused on what you don't have. It's kind of like a trick of the sleight of the hand kind of a thing. So when you focus on what you do have rather than what you don't have in your life, like you could literally list right now 5 things that you have in your life that you're thankful for and bring nice things to you. That's what you need to focus on. When you stop focusing on having this, it will show up. And it's literally right around the corner. All right, so you're not too far away. Jordan. Because you have an energetic cord, Jordan. You have an energetic cord that needs to be cut. I think I told you this already, but I'm going to give you Nikki's email, where to schedule a cord cutting. I'm telling you, it's the best thing ever. So you need to get done. Cord cutting. So here's where you book a session with Nikki Sutton. I highly recommend her. I don't recommend anybody who I haven't had personal experience with. She did a cord cutting for me as well, and it was the best thing I ever did. So make a session with her, Jordan, and get the cord cut, because then you won't even care anymore. You'll live your life. Okay. Let's move on. I'm going to look back at my notes. Please put, hey, Lisa, how are you doing today, Lisa? Let's look back at my notes. Alrighty. Let's talk about psychic self-defense first. So psychic self-defense is especially needed right now. In this Mercury retrograde. And I've said it before, this Mercury retrograde is just so heavy. Like, I really just think I'm glad we're like, most of us are like in our houses, because it just wouldn't be good. We really need to raise our vibration, all of us, every day, and really think up and say, how am I going to make today really good? No matter what else is going on, you have to say, how am I going to make today really good? Because Mercury retrograde works against us. So, and no matter what happens, you have to thank you for showing me, XYZ. Simple things like, again, I'm going to go back to my messy kitchen, which isn't as messy anymore, but like, thank you for showing me that, my kids can do the dishes. Like, that's a good thing, rather than going, why haven't they done the dishes again? That's how you switch things around when you're talking about raising your vibration. Psychic self-defense is a step past that. Psychic self-defense is putting your guides on alert that you want them to be your nightclub bouncers for your life. Okay? You want them to be those big muscle guys who are like, no, you're not getting in. Okay? They put the white light around you, and you tell them exactly who's allowed in, who's not allowed in, energy levels. Really, if you don't want anybody coming, like a specific person in your life, like your nosy neighbor, you tell them that, and somehow they make it so she doesn't show up that day. All right. You have to tell your guys how you want to be protected and what you want to be protected from. And there's no special prayer. You just talk to them. You just say, hey, guides, what up? Here's what I need you to do. Okay. And they'll do it. I mean, if Holly's on here, she'll tell you. I'm not sure if Holly got on here yet. I kind of surprised her with this, but you just talk to your guys. I look at my guys literally like they're bouncers in the nightclub, because that's what they feel like to me. I've given them a list of like this, that I don't want any of this. And was it last week I was telling people, or was it during the week, that, I kept getting people coming and telling me how they died. And I'm like, I don't need to know this. So that was on my list then. So psychic self-defense is all about using your guides who agreed to come into this life with you to guide you. So it's not like you're just dragging them along. They want to help you. They want to help you. Hey, Holly. Totally forgot what I was just saying about Holly. I swear I've been up since 3:30 and I'm like, ugh. Okay. Let's get back to, let's see. Hey, Torrance. Oh, look, my two spiritual besties. Look, Holly and Tori. Tori has a new channel on YouTube. Go ahead and go like her channel too and subscribe to it, because she's amazing. She's one of the mediums that I train. And she's pretty damn good, if I want to tell you that. Okay. So go ahead and hit the like button here on my live stream. Subscribe to my channel and subscribe to She Talks to Angels, because she's amazing. All right. So let's get back to any other questions. Did I miss? I like the cheese pie thing. I'm in. Let's make a cheese pie. Okay. I know. She was in that class with me too. I had to do it though, because I promised everybody I would be here every Sunday. So I had to do it. I did have some other questions that were asked earlier, were messaged to me. So let me just find those. Okay. Somebody asks me what psychic art is. And I mentioned that a few times, that I do psychic art. I put a little bit of it on my Instagram. So what I do is, if I have time, when I visualize a lot. So when I'm reading somebody, generally, okay, you tell the difference between who has memorized tarot cards and then who's actually psychic. Like, I just use them as like a tool to kind of hold and focus on while I'm listening. But when I get visualizations, I try to sketch them out in order to show my clients like what I'm seeing. And if I have time, I can like this, I can work on it. And I have one today. I'm meeting with I Love Dogs, and I told her I would show her what I'm seeing. I sketched it out for her, and I can't wait for that meeting. So yeah, that's something else that I do. A lot of psychics who are artistic provide this because it helps. Um, it helps that I can show you what I'm seeing. Okay. So if this is a face, like I could describe this face, but doesn't it look better if I just go, yeah, this is what it looks like, right? So for I Love Dogs, I sketched out the scene in my head that I was thinking about, that when she was asking about where she should be moving. And I just said, I'm going to sketch it for you and we can talk about it. Okay. All right. So yeah, spiritual art is a really big hot thing right now. And if you're interested in having me do that for you, just schedule a session and I can do it during the session. Let me go back to any other questions. Let's see here. Generally, okay, this question was funny. All right. I've listened to your lives a few times. Why are people generally wanting to know about love but nothing else? And I've asked myself that question too. And let me explain just a little bit. And this is what I was saying in the earlier, was that, we're taught to like have other people validate us. We really are. We're taught that if somebody else is happy with us, then we're okay. Right. So when we're without a relationship, it's as if we feel like people are looking at us like, what's wrong with that person? They don't have a significant other. When you can be perfectly happy all by yourself, like perfectly happy and missing nothing in your life, or be in a relationship that tears you down. So in order to find a relationship, rather than coming to like a psychic or a tarot reader, you first need to reflect in yourself and go, okay, how do I feel about myself? How do I feel about myself? There you go. How do I feel about myself before, I start thinking that I'm the problem? Because generally, when we come into relationships, what you need to remember in a relationship is that we bring to the table what we are, not what we want to do. All right. So if we're coming in all like, depressed and baggage, old relationships, like that's what we're bringing to the table. Is that what you want to bring to the table? So if you want to find the best, highest life path for love for you, make sure you fix inside yourself that has no anger or resentment for anybody you've ever met in your life, and love yourself unconditionally and love everybody else unconditionally. And that's the step to go to the next, to find your relationship. Okay. All right. Let's see. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat box and I will answer those. Okay, let me get to the Kardashian family and their life paths. And the only reason I did this is because I thought it was so fascinating that how they all work and how they're coming together. Somebody asked me a question about twin flames on Instagram, and immediately Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick popped in my head, and I thought, well, that's weird. Let me check their numbers. So, and it actually came like Kourtney and Scott are a very good couple, like numbers wise. The problem is that that they're both four. They come into the relationship as a four. So it's good. They all want things like this and this and this. But Kourtney is very, very funny and very, very kind of off the wall. She's a great communicator and that sort of thing. Where Scott, in the time of their relationship, was very flipped. And he very much was not who he was supposed to be. He is now, but he wasn't then. So in his flipped state, he became very bitter and sarcastic and argumentative because he's a 7 and that's what happens. So yeah, I really do see them as being as close to twin flames as you can get. All right. And I can get into the rest. If you guys have any questions specifically about the Kardashian life path, let me know. What questions can I ask for you guys today? I don't think I missed any, right? Yeah, the cord cutting, Jordan. Jordan, if you're still there, I just want the cord cutting is what everybody needs to do who can't go and get rid of like anybody. It doesn't even have to be like a love interest. Anybody in your house, in your family, who is harmful to you and you can't stop thinking about them. You need to cut the cord, and literally the energetic cord. All right, if you're new, make sure you hit the like button on this live stream and hit the subscribe button and put your question with your date of birth in the chat box and I will answer it for you. Bob, how much time do I have left here? 30 minutes. Okay, 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 30 minutes I'm going to go over to the topic of the suicide in the spiritual sense, and I'm going to try to keep this light. Okay. So and I am somebody who, faced, this dragon many times, with suicide and the question of, and the thing is, you're in 15 minutes. Thanks. You're in so much pain that it really is hard to think outside of that pain. And what the message I got yesterday from my father-in-law really was that, when you're in that state, you have to step outside of yourself and think of your family, because your family treasures you. It doesn't matter what you think they think about you. Your family treasures you. The universe treasures you. And in leaving them behind, you do create a lot more pain. And is that what you really want? But that's not spiritual. The spiritual sense of this is when somebody commits suicide, they break their soul contract with literally everybody that they've had a contract with. Okay. And every single person in their life switches over to contingency contracts. So, and it's not like Monopoly where you get out of jail free. When you make a choice like to end your contract by yourself, commit suicide, you have to come back and do it all over again. And does that sound appetizing to anybody? It's easier just to face what's going on and ask for help, rather than, a lot of people feel very alone. A lot of people feel that no one really understands them. I promise you there is somebody who understands you. So you just have to keep asking for help. When a lot of religions talk about punishment and, suicide, I honestly think suicide's like against the law in some states too, which is interesting to me. But there's no punishment for it. Like, it's a karma thing. There's no punishment for it. You just have to try again. It's not like you're going to, I don't want to do this. I'll go do something else. No. If you check out early, you go back and do it all over again until you learn your lessons. And that's what I realized yesterday when I had this, I was in this class with this reading, and my father-in-law came through 3 times. And eventually, I got it. Like, and this is an interesting story where, when he had passed away, on the day he passed away, I went down to my house and there he was in spirit form, standing there talking to me. And it was literally the first day I realized, I think I'm psychic. Because he was right there, and I knew he had just passed away, and he was trying to talk to me. And, the thing is, I think he realized immediately, like, that wasn't what he should have been doing. And that's the message to all of you. If this is something you're facing, understand that this is not the answer. Spiritually, physically, you need to ask for some help, okay? If you're new, make sure you like that like button, click the like button on the live stream, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm over 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, honestly. So thank you so much. Let me see if I have any other questions. Go back over here. Oh, okay. So what do you mean when you have a broken contract? Okay. So we all have soul contracts. And if you're new to this whole spiritual awakening thing, I'm probably talking like, let me back up a little bit. So we plan soul contracts before we're born. And we plan literally everything: our name, our parents, when we're going to be born, specific situations we could be in to learn lessons. And if those situations aren't work out for whatever else reasons, we plan other situations to learn those same lessons. They're called contingencies. There's mirror contracts, which are a different form of soul contracts. But a soul contract essentially is just an agreement between 2 souls that you are going to work together to learn a specific lesson. And it doesn't have to be where your friends or your family. It could be your adversary in your life. Usually the people that are hardest with you on your life, and like the people you hate the most, those are the people you have like the largest soul contracts with, because there's a reason that was been placed in. I'm immediately thinking of Bob's mother right now, but she's gotten better, so it's okay. I think we've worked it out. Anybody else have like like they don't understand why people are like so difficult in their lives, even though you've tried to do you've tried to do literally everything that you could think of to make the relationship good, and not even just a romantic relationship, like just a regular relationship. If it isn't working, that's because it's a soul contract and that other person is not doing their side of it. So there does come a chance in your soul contracts where you have an opportunity just to like void it, where the guides and the universe will void it, and they'll say, you know, you've done enough. And when you know that happens is when the situation just kind of goes away and you've done nothing to actually make it go away. That's how you know the universe is like telling you it's all right, you can move on now. Soul contracts is a really lengthy but very interesting topic. If people who are meant to be in your life, even if you avoid them, they will always be in your life until you learn those lessons. I'm trying to think of a good example of all of this. You know, like I know I told you the story about my dad already. We don't need to talk about that again. But yeah, I mean, soul contracts are really what your life is based on. So what I'm doing with my clients on Patreon now is I'm actually recreating their blueprint with their soul blueprint, with their date of birth, their name, and then we're going through year by year using numerology and astrology to see what their lesson was going to be, and then I'm going to attach it to whatever happened that year, and go literally down year by year in their life and say, okay, I can see where you got off your life path and how to get back on it. That's called sacred geometry. And it's something I'm learning to do. It's actually fascinating that we can actually look over our blueprint that we created before we're born, and we can, you know, look at it and go, oh, I see what I was supposed to be doing. I see where I'm going. It really is an interesting mix. Like when you get into this, anybody here new to spiritual awakening? Anybody new to, you know, this whole concept? I know Holly and we were raised as like good little Catholic girls, and we could never talk about any of this. So and there are a lot of people who are just waking up to all this and wanting to know a lot of questions. Like Holly laughs at me all the time. She's like, we need to do it. We need to do a podcast. I'm like, are we going to hell? Because people ask me that all the time. And you know, my answer is like, hell's here. Like, we're already here. But this is an interesting topic. And once you get into soul contracts and spiritual awakenings, it's kind of like falling down the rabbit hole, because you won't ever be able to look at life the same way again, because we're very much taught, you know, you remember when they said the earth's flat and everybody just said, oh yeah, it looks flat, it has to be flat. That's what spiritual awakening is. It's like you're starting to question what we think we know, and then you can't go back and you can't unknow what you already know. So all right, so I have about 5 minutes left. Questions? Am I missing any? Does not look like it. Let's go back to what I was going to talk about. If you're new here, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe. Okay, so Mercury Retrograde is going to last through February 20th, but what you need to know is that that's when things are going to get really, really like, you know, if you get into an argument with your loved ones, just say to yourself, Mercury retrograde, I'm going to talk about this in 3 weeks. Seriously. Don't get into any contracts or anything. Just, you know, chill out for the next 3 weeks. About 3 to 4 days after the 20th, the shadow of Mercury retrograde is still there. So it's not like it just goes away overnight. So there's still a few days. So the beginning of March is when we should be feeling better about ourselves and our projects and that sorts of things. All right. What did we miss here? Okay. I want to jump back real quick to this whole Kardashian West big map that I made. And what I found very interesting is out of all of them, the one that is definitely the one that is on point with her life path is Kylie Jenner, because she is definitely a powerhouse with work. Powerhouse. And she gives very good advice. She does more listening than talking. But she's very, and you can tell from her young age that she is very much on her life path. She knows where she's going, which is interesting because she's the youngest one. You would think that the older ones would know, but the older ones are all like, Caitlyn Jenner is also interesting too, because Caitlyn Jenner and Scott Disick have the exact same numbers. And Caitlyn Jenner is here to use the wisdom that she was developed with and develop her mind. And forgive me for the pronoun thing, honestly, like I just look at it as a soul. So Caitlyn Jenner is here to develop the mind, all of our minds, into a broader way of thinking, of balance. Okay. And that goes into the law of gender, where we shouldn't be leaning one way or another. We should be looking at the balance of it. So when we talk about all of these, and I'm not going to get too political because I don't like to do that, but when we get into these issues of, equality and that sort of thing, I always look for the balance and think, yeah, again, we really should have a balance. It shouldn't be one or the other. And that's where everybody needs to get to. And I just think it's an interesting how that came through in that life form of Caitlyn Jenner and how that has played out. The interesting part about those two people, Caitlyn Jenner and Scott Disick, is their life paths are sevens, and they very much have a strong, strong intuition, and they also feel like they're an enigma. Okay, like they're a bother to the life, and they're also a bother to themselves. So they struggle with that. If you have any questions about, Kardashians or, any kind of celebrities, I don't generally try to do this, but I thought this was rather interesting, honestly. Okay, I have 3 minutes to go. If you're new and you want to ask me a question, put it in the chat box, put your date of birth, and ask me your question. Also, hit that like button and subscribe. Let me scroll right back. Yep, I'm still waiting to post the Soul Sisters with Tori and Holly and myself. My computer ate my file. I don't know where it is, but Bob's going to find it for me, right, Bob? Just waiting on any more questions. All right. If there are any more questions, I think I'm going to go. And it was lovely seeing you guys today on Sunday. I will be back at my regular time next Sunday at 10 a.m. Bob, you're finding my file that I did with Tori and Holly for Soul Sisters, and I told you I couldn't find it. My computer ate it, and you said you'd find it for me. So when that happens, then I'm going to have our conversation, because it was really good conversation that we all had, Holly and Tori and I, because we talked about a lot of stuff and a lot of spiritual stuff, a lot of life stuff. And I think it's going to be a really good, yeah, thanks, Bob. Tori, my computer is just, again, I just can't wait till my new one gets here. Bob can fix anything, though. He can find it. I have trust in him. Okay. All right. So it was great talking to all of you. I do have to shove off and get to my next clients. It was nice seeing you. I will see you next Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please follow me on Instagram. You can DM me your questions, and I will answer them right here on YouTube, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys all go sit on the couch and eat your ice cream for the next week, okay? Next 3 weeks, because Mercury Retrograde.